broadcast network, Afterbuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. Afterbuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, Afterbuzzers, and welcome to the after show for Manzo'd With Children. Do you like our new theme song?
I'm lip syncing over here to be like the backup singer.
I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and next to me,
It's Megan Stecher. Fern Ronay here.
the best panel to break down a Mother's Day episode of Manzo'd With Children. It's Mother's Day in the Manzo house, and it looks like it's a big day for them to celebrate this meddling mother. And they get creative. I thought it was kind of cute. They're, what do they do? Recreate 3 images and then wrote notes like that. It has to be like one of the nicest gifts you can give someone because it's just so real.
Yeah, she said it was the best gift she ever got, and she was crying.
And Lauren was like, "That sucks."
That was funny.
The whole
That was
family
the
got
best
a
way to
kick.
end it.
Yeah, the whole family got a kick out of that.
That thought it was adorable when Chris stepped out of the car with the
trap
blue
door down on the onesie. I was like, what is happening here?
Oh my God, the baby blue
Adorable.
onesie. I was like, this kid he makes a show for me.
Yeah.
I love him.
I love the idea that actually I think that takes like a lot of work, and it must have taken a lot of different images to get it just right. You probably have to take a lot of pictures, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, especially because he was setting the timer, and then they would whip the photo out to remember exactly what pose they were in, and then you have to run and get in place in time.
It was a lot of art direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like it. I think that's a good idea. I wish I lived near my family and I could do something like that.
I feel like it's kind of something that's been blowing up on the internet lately.
Yeah.
I've seen it a lot on like Twitter and I guess Facebook.
Yeah.
People,
Yeah.
posting things to Facebook like the kids do. You know what I'm trying to say.
I feel like mothers love pictures of their kids.
They die over it.
Like my sister was in town and we took a picture together, and I instantly get a call. How do I make this my background on the phone? I'm like, oh God, just like print it.
I know.
Wait
Just
till I
print
have
it.
grandchildren. Because
Yeah.
once my mother had a grandchild, my wedding photo was no longer her profile picture.
Wow.
You got them.
Happily, I was happy to give it up to the cuties, but yeah.
I know. My sister posts pictures of her kids like every single day. Like no matter what mundane thing they go do as a family, it's like, here's 20 pictures of us.
Yeah.
But they did do first day of school today, so
Aw,
that was a big
so
deal.
cute.
That I will
Cute.
look at plenty of pictures of.
When we grew up, it was like, oh, here's Grant in like this year. Here's Megan, 3rd grade. Now it's like 9 million pictures from every day
Yeah,
of their
because
lives.
it's digital.
Right, it's like someone's in a swim class. Like they literally post like a weekly photo of this kid in a swim class. I feel like I know their schedule.
It's crazy because like when we were kids, the only instant photography was Polaroid.
Oh, right.
But now everything is instant. You can just hold down the button and take 20 photos
Totally.
Yeah.
of anything.
And I'm like, did I go to swim class? I don't know. There's no documentation. I might have, but
That's how I feel.
no one
Right.
took a picture.
Yeah. Well, I remember going. I hated that.
I only have my horrible memories.
Yeah. No, really,
That's
really.
true.
I remember doing the backstroke one time. I had no idea I was going the wrong way, sideways across the pool, and some instructor grabbing me, like, all of a sudden in my face, I grabbed my shoulder, I was like, watch where you're going, and, like, shoved me off. I'm like, how rude.
Oh,
My
I don't
God.
like that.
Nowadays,
I
your mother
know.
would have been like, that posting on Facebook.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
instructor should have been.
I don't need anyone getting handsy in the water.
Right.
That's
true.
very uncomfortable. I'm not into that. I don't, especially so you're like you're doing your own thing. Like, oh, the hell no.
Anyway, back to the
Yes.
Back to the show.
Well, we're relating. We're relating,
We're
I guess. But
relating.
yes. Kind of. Maybe. So what did you think of the letters? I thought they were both really nice, and it was like a perfect little gift.
So
I thought it was
sweet.
adorable. And they just like some glittery letters
Yes,
on
so
there.
Yeah.
And she's such a tough mama, but she loves her kids and anything can make her cry. Like any sign
Yeah.
of affection from them,
Yeah.
she's
And the
crying.
fact that Albie was tearing up, that was adorable. So
Right.
just like a
So cute.
sweet, heartfelt family moment. And those are the things that are really mean something in your life, a gift like that. And like at the end of her life, that she might be like, the best thing I ever got in my whole life was when the
Yeah.
kids recreated this photo album.
Yeah.
My family just did that for my grandmom's 90th birthday party yesterday.
Oh my God.
Obviously, I wasn't there because they're
God
all in
bless her.
Pennsylvania. But yes, God bless your mom. We did a memory book, so we all wrote down memories, and my mom made a nice little album of it for her.
That is
Nice,
so
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah.
I just
That's
forgot when I was young, my sister and I, we went to this tower in Narragansett, Rhode Island, and we stood at the top and we took a picture. We were like hugging each other. We were like really young. Then we took it like 7 years later. And then last summer when I was in Rhode Island, we took it again because it was
That's
like the
so
next
sweet.
increment of years.
Yeah.
You have to post
So,
them on Facebook. That is so
yeah,
cute.
and my mom has them, of course, up on the refrigerator. I don't have them, I don't believe, but I can
Hashtag
get them since
Manzo'd.
then. But yeah, I forgot about that. But yeah, we actually, I'm talking about, I would love to do that, and we actually do. So
Send
There you
us your
go.
pictures on Twitter. We love this stuff, even if we don't know you.
like, yeah, why not?
Yeah,
Why
if
not?
you're listening, we
it's a
love
nice
you.
thing, and it's so nice to see. I just want to say, like, it's nice to see like a family show that is a real family, and they're not like no one's like, well, I mean, no one's not speaking to each other, but we've already dealt with that. I mean, like,
Yeah.
but they're really tight, and it's like
Yeah.
it's a real
They
thing.
enjoy
you know?
each other.
Yeah, and it's a nuclear family. It's not like, well, my sister-in-law and he's my cousin, and it's they're a clique.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I feel especially now, we all live far away from our families' homes, but it's nice to kind of see like adult children kind of keep coming back to the nest like that and have like that tight relationship, and not people have like totally moved they have like totally moved on with their lives,
right.
which
Yeah.
can be a problem for some of them. We'll talk about Albie. He mentioned that he's kind of he was dating people and getting out of relationships to kind of appease his family. So sometimes being close can be, a little too close to be able to move on. What did you think of that?
That conversation touched me because I think he's this
Yeah.
really sweet kid, and he is so hard on himself. Like she said, you can just see it. And he wasn't living his authentic life. He probably didn't really, even though he said his whole life he wanted to go to law school, these things that he's been doing every step of the way, it seems like it wasn't his true calling, and he wasn't living his authentic life. And it can kill you.
Yeah.
It can beat you down. And he seems so beat up. But now that he's smart enough to realize it, hopefully now he'll start doing things he just wants to do
Right.
and be happier.
I think he has a bit of first child syndrome, which I kind of relate to that in that you always take on a lot of the responsibility, and you're usually type A, and you think you have to be this big success for the family. And it seems like that's obviously what he was struggling with and what he's hopefully moving on from. That conversation made me sad when he said, like, I was dating people and breaking up with them
Right.
for the fact that I thought that's what my family wanted. So if he really did love this Brittany girl, am I getting Brittany?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to call her like Brittany Jean or something. I don't know. Brittany. It seems like, well, maybe he really did like her, but he broke up with her just because everybody else was giving him like the cocked eyebrow, like, this girl's too pretty. This is ridiculous. She's using you,
Yeah.
all that, whatever everyone was saying last season about her. And I just hope that since it seems like he maybe is seeing her under the radar secretively again, that everything's going well.
I hope so. I think Albie kind of represents a lot of like millennial people who are trying to find their way, and there's so many options now. There's so many different ways you can go, and coming from he come from a privileged background. He's educated. He can do whatever he really wants, and trying to find like what that is, and knocking on different doors, as we've seen since he started on the show way back when. Like I kind of relate to him. That I think it's very relatable, and it's very true to people of his age, and not many people necessarily have that one calling of that one. I have to do one thing in life and I won't be fulfilled. So if not, you're looking for options. There's so many, it can be overwhelming. So I think it's a good representation of just the regular guy out there.
Yeah. And also like getting close to being 30 and why aren't I married? Like I think that's a thing that a lot of our parents' generation have kind of instilled in you while you grew up, and maybe not on purpose, but it's just kind of how society works. And now we're getting further and further away from needing to be married at all, or needing to be married by 30. In cities, not so much. People are much older when they get married. So it's kind of like the old school and suburban family feel tugging at him, and he's kind of like a city guy. Like, he's been out in Hoboken, may still live there. He might just be living at home for the show. You know,
Possibly.
rumors on the internet.
Possible
I don't
theory.
know. So, you know, but I think that it was good that he brought that up because I think that's something everyone around that age starts thinking about.
Absolutely. My Italian grandmother was like, you can't be unmarried at 30. It's over the hill. I was like, you are a different generation. Oh my God. Like, we locked horns on that because I'm like, you're living in 1945. Like, hello.
Right,
Yeah.
right, exactly.
So we mentioned Brittany, and they mentioned the episode that they connected. So I don't remember too much of their relationship previously.
Last season, it just felt like she was cast on the show to be this girl who seemed like she just wanted fame
really
and was
did.
just dating him not for him. So I don't know if she's real, but if she is real and he does like her, then all right. But I don't know. I didn't get the sense that it was true love, but I don't know.
Yeah, I thought it was a little produced myself. Who knows?
But if it isn't, and hey,
Yeah.
do what
she's
you
a beautiful
want,
girl.
Albie.
She
Beautiful.
Yeah, for sure, for real.
Well, he mentioned that he's like, oh, her looks, but like that's the last thing I think about. She makes me feel like relaxed and like I could be myself or whatever version of that he said. And I
He
was
said
like,
she makes me laugh, and I was like,
Oh, yeah.
ding, ding, ding. That's
yeah,
huge.
that's huge for him to just like let go of all the like what the family expects of you and your responsibilities and just like be yourself with someone.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Albie may not want to be tied down, and either does Rosie. We saw Rosie and Kathy out for lunch. You know, and they chatted. I guess Caroline's going to have 110 people at Lauren's shower. And then we learned, interestingly enough, that Kathy's house is the dream home of Lauren.
I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if they end up moving in there, would you?
Stranger
be
things have
funny,
happened.
yeah.
I don't remember anything notably amazing about Kathy's house. It just, you know, seems like a regular house to me. But I mean,
Yeah.
everyone has different, you know, tastes, and
Yeah.
I know she was looking for a home that was really a home. The home they went to look at was quite nice.
Yeah.
Pretty
beautiful.
grand. The whole wine cellar.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many months are they going to live home and save up for these houses?
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. Would they just make
I
it?
don't know.
Caroline just kept going, oh, just a couple. If she would just live home for a couple of months, she could buy a much bigger house. I'm thinking, like, so you think that her staying home for 2 months, a couple is 2. So her living at home for 2 months, her and Vito, their savings in 2 months, they could buy a house that's over $700,000. I just
Right.
thought that the math was a little screwy. Like
did
they were
not
just making, they were
calculate.
oversimplifying everything.
Now, does he still work at the Brownstone, the husband?
I think he's in business with his father, right?
Oh,
He's
okay.
the
Oh,
family,
right,
the
right.
family,
He has the
Scalia.
Okay.
They have like a food business too.
All right. And then she's got her business.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what do you think? Do you think they're going to put up money for them to move into this house?
Of course they will. They're well off.
Yeah. I think they're going to make them live at home because it's good for the show. And then they'll help them buy something.
Yeah.
Well, and like she said, you don't hand them something, you help them get a leg up. So of course they're gonna give them like some huge chunk of the down payment or the whole down payment.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
In my opinion,
I
I
think
think,
that's
because they
probably
treat their
what- but
kids
who
so
knows?
well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're well off.
Right.
If you can, wait, what's the saying? Those who can do. Those who can do.
Right.
Those
think
who
they
can
will.
give their kids a down payment do.
So,
Hey, the wedding money too. We can't forget. People always use their wedding
yeah.
money for a down
Oh,
payment.
that's true. And they're getting that wedding at cost, I'm sure.
oh,
Yeah, exactly. That was a freebie. The location.
So Kathy and Rosie, what did you think of catching up with them?
They're fun. I love Rosie. Whenever she comes on the screen, I'm like, Rosie for president. I love her.
I wish we would have seen a little more something
Yeah.
like anything that they talked about that got. I'm sure there was something funny that they laughed over or gossiped about, but we didn't get to see much. But it was just
No.
nice to see them.
Kathy talked to Louis, saw a flashback to the house she's moving into, but it was pre-built, and
Yeah.
Kathy continued to not really deliver too much to the cameras. I will always throw a little shade because I'm like,
Aw.
Kathy, what are you doing? Why are you here? But it was nice to see her, but not much to report.
That's the house the Jonas brother built. I really want to see it finished.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was excited to see her because I was like, oh, good, let's see what the status
Yeah,
is of her
me
life in
too.
the house. We didn't see anything.
No. They needed someone else at that lunch to like lift the energy a little. It wasn't like silly enough.
I felt
Also, there can be Rosie and Kathy can
Yeah.
be funny, and they
Yeah.
can be fun, especially
Right.
Rosie. But
Yeah.
if nobody's there, like joking around with her, it's
Yeah.
a little dull.
Yeah, another drive-by, you know.
Yeah,
Well, I feel like
exactly.
Caroline was was about to be really funny because she's like, I'm so stressed out. This is crazy. Lauren's a bitch right now.
I'm popping Xanax or whatever.
Popping Xanax like TikToks and like. I thought that would get the lunch going and popping like really funny stuff from everybody, but not really. I guess they like if they all maybe were drinking wine or something, it would have been a little looser.
Yeah, maybe they needed to liquor them up more.
Yeah. Well, Caroline's saying she's having 101 people over for the bridal shower
at her house.
Are you crazy?
Why don't you have it at a catering hall? Like
why don't you just have it in the brownstone? Hello.
That's the easiest problem to fix.
Right, you don't need that at your house.
Like I can't. All right, done. Like oh, the room's full. Oh well, we own it. Leave. I mean, like it's like the easiest thing to do.
And the DIY floral centerpieces, like really?
I don't know. I don't know about those. Right. I don't know about those floral centerpieces.
You weren't fond of them?
I bet you Lauren took one look at them and was like, oh, hell no. Those. That's a no, Mom.
Maybe that happened before she said she's a bitch. She's being a bitch.
Yeah, maybe.
She threw out the centerpieces.
I like DIY stuff for like to watch on TV, and like I like that she's crafty. I love seeing Caroline get crafty. Like we loved her last week with the potions. Yeah, but I don't know about that. Those things didn't look, too over the top, and I'm just kind of like, I've got to invest in a wedding where she's gonna be, coming in a princess gown. Maybe was this the shower though?
Yeah.
Well, still, come on. She's gonna be in a princess gown.
Yeah. I don't mean to hate. I think we just all had in mind because it's them and it's going to be on a show and they're well off that it was going to, I think we're expecting the most out of them all the time. And it's a sweet, like, handmade touch.
Right.
So, sorry, I didn't mean to hate on them.
House, yeah,
so I'm looking at this through the lens of television. But if these people are showing their themselves and their reality, then that's a very real thing. There's nothing wrong with it, but I just think it's kind of funny because I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because you kind of expect Bravo to pay for the benefit, right? Like,
because how many of these weddings have we seen on Bravo? I mean, the most over the top, the most ridiculous, even these christenings, like nonsense stuff.
Yeah, the christenings are ridiculous.
Yeah,
where they have like a first dance.
Yes. So my standards are a little unreal.
After a fist fight, we're gonna do the first dance. God, I love New Jersey.
I need to go back and rewatch that episode, that christening episode.
It was the first episode of the first season Melissa was on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
God, it was good.
I invited myself over to my friend Marie's house because she's from New Jersey, and I was like, we're watching this together. I just invited myself over because I knew it was going to be a you-know-what show. So that was my last time watching it. Oh, God, good memories of New Jersey. We need the show to come back on the air now.
That's when Joe called her garbage. It was so epic.
Good times. Good times.
And Teresa's like, Kathy, would you dare say you left my baby alone? Don't go there, Kathy. She was crazy.
Yep.
That's a good
She was crazy.
Well, let's talk about Lauren and Vito and their living situation.
Boy.
Vito said straight out, he can't get excited anymore. So I can't, and I don't blame him. He's got his mother-in-law downstairs running around like a nut.
Excellent, thank you.
His mother-in-law does running around like a nut and hot glue and moss to poles, and he can't get excited upstairs. And I don't blame him.
She's like a throwback, Lord. Like I said to my mother today, I'm like, she's like you in 1968. Like you didn't go anywhere with your husband, like your future husband. You definitely didn't go on vacation with him. You didn't move out until, well, actually, my father lived with them for like till my brother was 2, and then they bought a house. So I'm like, you're like Lauren Manzo.
Yeah.
1968, like she's like a throwback, Lauren. She's doing it old school.
They say that getting an apartment is like out of the question, doesn't make sense. But I'm like, what's wrong with it?
I know. Your poor husband is begging you.
Yeah. I think it's just a lease, fine then to get a short-term lease, like if you're gonna move at any point, like, and like a year can easily fly by, and we know that for sure. I mean, friend, you've been in LA now a year, right?
Oh my God, it's crazy.
And what does it feel like 6 months?
Oh my God,
even
crazy. Feels like yesterday.
So how can you relate to this or not relate to this on any personal level? You're both in relationships. Slash married.
No, but I'm thinking like Vito would pay any amount of money in rent to have sex with his wife.
Right.
And he's married, just get your own place. My God, I live in an apartment. I'm nowhere near married.
Oh my God.
I have to say, I could never, for the fact that my parents are of the church of, you are not sleeping in the same room until you're married. That's their deal. So I don't think I would feel comfortable all of a sudden just because I got married 12 hours later sleeping in a room right down the hall from them, and
So
it's,
weird.
now it's okay. And, he's exactly right. Knowing that they're down the hall in the same house, you can't get excited.
No, it's not romantic.
You don't need someone in your business when you're they say, I don't know, Fern, because I'm not married, but you are, you can say, they say the first year's the hardest. Like, when you're figuring that stuff out or having arguments, you don't need your in-laws around
Right.
being in their
Yeah.
business.
You need to keep it as stable as possible, I would assume.
Yeah.
And
I'd be like, can we
getting-
make an apartment in the basement that we can be away from you?
Well, why don't they stay above the brownstone in that apartment they have over
Alright.
there?
That's a good idea.
yes.
Close
I forgot
enough.
about it.
Now, the father doesn't need to charge them rent if that's the problem.
Right.
It's close enough, but it's not under everyone's nose.
That's a good point.
I don't know.
That's
We should
very
suggest-
smart.
Yeah, that's my suggestion. Or
Vito, if you're listening, we have a solution.
yeah, I know. Vito, quick. Hopefully it's
God.
available. But I don't know. That's just my thing. It's funny that I remember that because I was not thinking about that when I was watching the show, but it just popped into my head.
No, very smart.
I think that's what they should
because
do.
I can't imagine. It's just so uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I love my in-laws, I don't want to live with them.
No. It
And
seemed,
my parents, too.
it seemed like Lauren understood what her mother was saying. Then they had to go with their Aunt Patty to look at the house, and then they were like, now she gets it. But I thought she was always on the same page. It didn't seem like Lauren was dying to get out of there as much as Vito is.
Right. Right. I thought it was good when she was like, I won't tell Vito. And her mother's like, you will tell. That's a good lesson.
Yeah.
Like, no secrets. Like, let's start this off right.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was a good moment. I liked that. So yeah, I mean, it'll be. We decided that they would now stay at the house, and of course, Albie's like, "We're roommates again." Who would have ever
Oh my
thought?
God.
Or not, according to Radar Online.
Oh well, yeah.
Well,
Right.
anyway. Who
No,
cares?
they-
I don't care.
They
I
put a
don't care
damper
if
on
they're-
everything.
I know. And I don't care if they're just living at home just for the show.
Right. It's okay.
I'm fine with it.
Well, what's Radar saying anyway?
They're saying that Albie doesn't really live at home. He's just doing that for the show, and he definitely still lives in Hoboken. Like, check his Instagram because he's always there. And they're like, why are they acting like Chris just moved out? He's like, they previously already moved out and lived in Hoboken together.
Correct.
So they're trying to be like, they're lying to us, and like, I don't care.
Yeah,
Lie to me.
I mean-
I
Lie
do
to
get
me.
like annoyed when they fake it, but it's like not that big of a deal.
Yeah. No.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
And they're probably home enough to like,
Oh,
when-
God, yeah.
Yeah, you bring home your laundry if your parents are that close and
True.
your mom's Caroline, like it's almost like you're living at
Yeah.
home if you're always there. I don't know.
Sure. Why the hell not? All right. Any final thoughts regarding the recap of this episode?
I was laughing when Al was talking about Brittany, and he was like, her language is, she's a vixen, she's a sultry, what did he, she has a sultry demeanor.
Oh my God.
He makes me laugh.
I get a kick out of him having Tinder now.
Oh
How he
my
and his
God.
roommate were like,
yeah.
oh, we got a dating app over here. It's like, you need a Tinder profile. We'll sign you up right now. Oh, that was hilarious. I so see Chris on there, like, swiping.
Yeah.
No. Yes, her. So him.
I want to see more of the roommate. I think they have a funny
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah.
It's funny, yeah.
Yeah. Someone new.
Yeah.
Who knew?
Yeah, throw him in there.
Yeah. Do we have any news and gossip pertaining to what's going on? Ooh, hanging with the news.
I'm going to my 4th page of notes. I took a lot of notes for a half an hour show.
Good for you. Wow. I hope we didn't miss anything over here. Good.
Jeez. Well, happy birthday to Caroline. Her birthday was this weekend.
Celebrating Mama Manzo.
All the kids gave her a sweet birthday shout out on social media, on their respective social medias. And according to Wikipedia, she's now 53 years old, looking better than ever.
Definitely.
She looks really good with the long hair these days.
Yes.
I like it.
Oh
I
my
like
God.
it.
The flashbacks. I'm like,
I know.
Oh my God.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I forgot your hair was so short. Yeah.
It's a little jarring.
She looks great. Just a continuation on the big beach house story we did last week.
yeah.
The Giudice's beach house. So we said that they are going to do the sheriff's sale. They must have been throwing a going away party. No one bid on this house. So the house is back in possession of the mortgage lenders, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess they'll figure out what to do with it since no one wanted to buy it at the sheriff's auction. And the Teresa's lawyer put out a statement like, oh, this was just sentimental value for the family, and that's why, we just decided to let it go. Like, okay, whatever. They needed to sell it because they owe millions of dollars.
Right.
Yeah.
Sentimental value. The bank needs $300,000
Right.
to eliminate your debt. So
and he was trying to blame it on Hurricane Sandy damage and da-da-da, but didn't they fix the house once
that house that was listed as completely renovated.
Right, exactly. Because I remember, didn't they completely renovate after all the damage?
Yeah.
And then, okay, anyhow.
Even if they had paid off part of their mortgage, like, I don't think it would have cost that much. I mean, it costs a lot to renovate, but it's just they owe a lot of money.
Yeah, they can't hold on to any of their properties.
Yeah.
Right.
And if they did, it would make them look even worse than they already look. And they're not looking too good.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
I mean, how could you be like, no, we're holding on to this one. Sorry. Like, you can't. They can't even hold on to their main house. I wonder what's going on with the main house.
They can't sell that one either.
Also in foreclosure.
Right. When did they kind of put the lock on the door with that one? I don't know. When does that happen?
Hopefully, what they get.
I don't want it to happen, but come on, it's a
I
reality.
know.
They did the crime. They're doing the time.
They are.
It
I
seems
mean, it's
like
a real
so
thing.
unfair that they're like living in this big house, going to the shore house on the weekend
I
when
know. They're
lied
criminals.
to get the money to do it.
Right. So who knows? It'll be interesting to see what Teresa finds when she leaves.
Yeah.
So we'll look forward
Well,
to
she'll
that.
have to
Definitely
get
coming
a
back, right?
small house that the kids don't like, I guess.
A used house?
A used house. And weren't they complaining on the
How
show?
skeevy.
Like, they did the scene where they went looking for a different, smaller house, and who was it that didn't like it? Gia?
I think so. But it was
Oh,
still like
God,
a
I
big,
forgot
beautiful
about that.
house. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And the taxes were like something ridiculous.
Frontin'. They are
Yeah.
frontin'.
They are crazy. But
Well-
didn't she say like she didn't want to? She skeeved like a used somebody else.
Oh yeah. Episode 1, season 1.
Yeah, season 1. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to live in someone else's house. That's gross. That's what she said, word for word.
Yes.
Definitely coming back, right? Isn't that what the rumor is?
I'm sorry?
She's definitely
Oh,
coming
yeah.
back. Yeah. Okay.
Well, speaking of coming back, Caroline revealed on Watch What Happens Live last week, Dina definitely does live in Los Angeles. People have kind of been talking about that on the internet for a few months. She's definitely has relocated out here where we are. So it would seem she's not going to return as a New Jersey housewife. But as for Caroline, of course, Andy had to ask her, and she's like, no, I can't. I would never. I didn't really like being on the show. And then he said, well, what about for $1 million? And she said, well, never say never. So hope is alive for Caroline to return, and maybe adding Lauren also as a fellow housewife.
Well, stranger
I'm
things
just
have
gonna
happened.
say, keep hope alive.
And she
Yes.
said Dina was at the reception, so Melissa just didn't see
Yes,
it.
Right.
correct. She did suss that out that Melissa
Yeah.
was wrong.
Misspoke,
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting. And of course, now that the Real Housewives of New Jersey is not currently on the air, we're kind of giving you that fix, and we'll give you kind of the whole New Jersey news and gossip when our news and gossip portion from Manzo'd With Children, because why not? You know,
Yeah.
we're always kind of curious to see what these ladies are up to, and maybe we can find some dirt on this upcoming season. I hear they're in pre-production. Casting and getting things kind of together. So, the show won't be airing for a while, but at least, the ball is rolling somewhere with the Real Housewives of New Jersey. So it'll be interesting nonetheless. Shall we predict?
Ooh.
And now, your Afterbuzz TV predictions.
Again, I'm terrible at this. I really don't know what to predict.
Me neither. ever.
Okay, I'm gonna do one.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Al, it looks like, meets up with Brittany at the diner to discuss things, and he's like, "Oh no, if we get food, that would make it a date." So I'm gonna say it's gonna be this whole weird talk about are we or aren't we? What's going on? And he's got the whole "ooh, my family really didn't like you the first time around" thing going on. So I'm gonna say he doesn't have the cojones to say yes or no to it, so it's still going to be an up in the air for the next week as far as what's going on with them relationship wise.
Right.
And I have a feeling Lauren and the mom are going to find
Haven't-
out that he met up with her.
Well,
and
he
they're-
said
yeah.
to their faces that he met up with her.
Oh, okay.
So, and their faces looking back at him do not look promising.
Oh,
It's
okay,
their
okay,
old
okay, okay.
judgmental, we
Yeah.
don't want you to face. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I wonder what the problem is next week that Lauren and Vito are going to be facing.
Right.
The wedding, the dress, and all that. I wonder what it's going to be this time.
Well, Caroline's definitely freaking out next week, screaming at Lauren. Lauren, it looks like locks the door to cafes and is like, get out of here. I don't need your opinion. So I think there's going to be drama with Lauren's attitude, maybe, and Caroline trying to tell her, get prepared for this, get prepared for that.
Because they do go to Italy right before the wedding, so maybe they found out about... So I don't know.
Yeah, maybe she should.
And Caroline's like, that is not happening. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
we'll
know.
have to watch and see, I guess. So that'll be it. All right, ladies.
Exciting.
Where can we keep the conversation going to talk more about these Manzo's?
This is Fern. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fern Ronay, Ronay. And I have a book coming out later this year, the story of a single 29-year-old Manhattan lawyer who was guided in her dreams by her dead Italian grandparents. Follow me, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for release information.
And this is Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's all at Megan Stecher, MEGANSTECHER.
Thank you. And you can find me on Twitter always at Grants__Rants. And you can now find me on my new podcast that's finally happening this week, Grant's Rants Hollywood Talk. Shout out to Fern's husband for being the most helpful with getting me that logo. I mean, it's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of work, and he was always there quick, so I appreciate that so much. It's a really interesting podcast, a little Hollywood Talk Insider, so check it out. It'll be out this week. That'll do it for us for Manzo'd With Children.
Happy birthday, Alexis. We forgot to say happy birthday to you last week.
Oh, happy birthday!
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Afterbuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the Afterbuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterbuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of Afterbuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.